Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, and we are live. What's up, guys? George the Cloud here. My name is Jorge, aka George. Welcome to the channel and welcome to my life. So I know I've been absent from your life for a few days, but I'm back, baby. I'm back, and yeah, I just can't get enough Ren. I've actually gone back and listened to the tracks I reacted of his, which I have a playlist if you want to check it out. But I watched so much somebody's talking back there. What the fuck? The Tale of Jenny and Screech. I literally rewatched that like 15 times. I kid you not, even watching other reactors, because when I first watched it, I was so focused on like the sounds itself that I didn't pay attention that much to the lyrics, and it was vital. So at the end I didn't get the surprise that some of you were expecting, but fear not, I did watch it plenty of times, and I am even more blown away. It's tragic, but incredible, epic. So yeah, also went back, watched High Ren a bunch of times, just the others, and I'm so surprised and shocked at how talented Ren is. So he's climbing up the stairs for me, getting up there to one of my favorites. All right, without further ado, because this video is already long enough, Ren, Eden. As in, I'm guessing the Garden of Eden. I don't know any other references to that word, so that I'm expecting that's what it's about. But with Ren, you never know, and I'm curious. I don't know what's gonna happen. So let's get right into it. Guys, if you want to support me in my journey to become a YouTuber in the future, go ahead, join the channel. Do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and do the world a favor. Get some popcorn, fill up your water, put your headphones on, let's go.
Story as old as time. Let me tell you a story as old as time. The story of Adam and Eve. It starts with a God who wanted more. God had just created the heavens and the earth. He had the angels by his side, but they had no will of their own, and so the autonomy to love or reject him was never theirs. All but for one, the once called bringer of light, Lucifer, morning star. Lucifer was the fairest and most intelligent of all the angels. He was the closest thing to God's image, and in his likeliness, Lucifer felt restless. He began to question and doubt God. He doubted the hierarchy imposed upon him. He felt God was arrogant. In his frustration, Lucifer built a throne that stood even above God's and declared mutiny. A war ensued. God, being all-powerful, came out the victor and banished Lucifer from the heavens and exiled him to earth. Once again, God was alone with his power. Perhaps from loneliness, perhaps from curiosity, perhaps from a desire to share love, God began to work on his greatest project yet, a being that would mirror himself, the human, two humans specifically, Adam and Eve. They were placed inside a paradise built for them on earth, the Garden of Eden. In the garden, God placed a tree that bared fruit that would grant anyone who ate it powers bestowed only to a God, to tell good from evil, left from right, to live righteously or to sin. He named this the Tree of Knowledge. God told Adam and Eve they could eat whatever they wanted in the garden, but never the fruit from the Tree of Knowledge, and if they disobeyed him, it would be punishable by death. The basic way the story of Eden is told is that Eve was tempted by Lucifer in the form of a serpent to eat a fruit from the Tree of Knowledge. Convinced, she bit the fruit, she passed it to Adam, and he did the same. Suddenly, ultimate knowledge filled their minds, and they realized they were naked and felt shame. God discovered this betrayal and felt angered. He exiled Adam and Eve and cursed them with the life of a mortal. They would work, they would bear children, and they would die. The fate of a human. Now look deeper.
In the story, the serpent tempted me by telling me I would gain ultimate knowledge and that God would spare me.
Both were.
All right, so a quick pause here, so I can absorb everything as it should be. This first part, wow, very unexpected. I didn't, expect him to like narrate this from the book, basically. But I really enjoy the imagery, the details that he's put in here, crafted a whole, style. And usually I don't think I'm a fan of the lyrics being on the screen. That's why I don't do it. But with this one, it's cool because, especially with Ren, I have to read so much information. So it helps to get it into my brain. And the type goes along with this style that is almost, reminds me of like, what is it? Give me a sec. No, that game that used to play in like Nintendo 64, like Galaxy, something Galaxy. But at the same time, it's very childish. It's easy to see for the eye. It's clear. It also reminds me of some shows. I actually used to watch like some videos of religion, like that would tell the story of the Bible, and it kind of had a similar style. But anyway, so far interesting, and yeah, it's like another lesson. Class is in session.
Now look deeper.
In the story, the serpent tempted me by telling me I would gain ultimate knowledge and that God would spare me.
Both were true.
This wasn't some great deception, meaning that Satan, in the likeliness of God, perhaps understood his intentions. In fact,
The only lie uttered in the
Garden of Eden was
by God, who did not end up
condemning
Adam and Eve to
death.
This could be seen as an act of
Mercy, but the sheer fact that the tree existed and that humans
were initially cut off from this knowledge.
may imply some part of God was afraid that if humans were granted the gift of perception, they, like Lucifer, would have the power to reject him too. The fact that there stood a beautiful tree that could
grant this knowledge in the first place.
implies that a small part of
God, supposedly all-knowing.
perhaps wanted and intended
The humans to
Bite too.
In the Bible, Satan was an exiled angel of free will. Humans are exiled
descendants of Adam and Eve.
also with free will. Not only have we shared a similar fate to the devil, we were also both constructed in
We
the
were
image of
also
our
both
Creator,
constructed in the image of our Creator.
meaning our behaviors, in some shape or form, imperfectly echo His.
We could assume that this kind of
God has his doubts,
But-
but as the most
powerful being,
Being in the universe
he has no one above him
to turn to with questions, and no one to
Doubt but himself, an incredibly lonely and isolating existence.
We must only assume that the common thread between God, Lucifer, and us is the desire for more, an eternal curiosity, a desire perhaps birthed from a seed of loneliness. If not, why would we exist in the first place? The constantly looping bittersweet irony is whether gifted by some omnipotent God or simply a byproduct of billions of years of evolution, here we stand in 2023 as creatures with free will, the only creatures that understand and define good from bad, creatures with the potential of a God. And what do we do with that free will, my friends? We willingly walk to the edge of a cliff. In the name of progress, we jump off the precipice. The empires we build ravage the earth. The natural order of things are necessary to survive. Any systems which do not honor homeostasis eventually perish. Our free will overrides our own biological instinct. We can take more than we eat. We can kill more than we need. We can willingly create weapons with the potential to burn everything we've built to the ground. We willingly decide to bow at the altar of greed, the most insidious and destructive of all sins. We put our faith in corporations who pose as rulers. We willingly allow ourselves to be led by outdated power systems ran by corrupted politicians
and bloated dictators who claim domain and dominion over an open and free land.
We willingly elect the corrupted when the decision was always ours to build something better. We willingly create and impose separation because of beliefs that we are force-fed through our phones and television sets. We always had the will to reject these things, but we adhere to them as though they were the laws of physics. War, famine, pestilence, greed, these aren't things imposed upon us by an all-powerful God or by his demonic adversary. They are here because of us, not because of free will, but because of our inability to use it. We must be motivated to be better, not out of fear of punishment of an eternal damnation, but because the choice exists, because we love ourselves, because we have the power to absolve ourselves of so much unnecessary suffering. Take a second to be in this very moment. In this moment, how much suffering is happening all over the planet right now? How many people are dying of illnesses that could have easily been cured, but aren't because of the selfishness and greediness of humanity? How many people break their backs and reject their own passions to simply afford bills and food? How many of us crave distraction from existence? How many of us numb that pain in whatever way necessary? How many children are being abused? How many people sleep cold and hungry on the streets? How many of us become cogs inside a machine that is destroying itself? How many soldiers have been forced to fight in meaningless wars? How many humans have killed for ideals they don't believe in or understand? How many people have died for the greed of another man? And how much of this was avoidable? As written in the Bible, Satan was not condemned to hell. Satan was condemned to earth. He lives there amongst other creatures with free will, who always had the choice and still chose their own undoing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our self-made hell. The bittersweet irony is this is a creation of our own design. I'll leave you with this. Consider what you have done here today. You have worked together as individuals collaborating to form a giant neural network, a hive mind capable of achieving incredible things. We have lent on each other's strengths to solve puzzles and decipher riddles, and we've done so to win money. Imagine applying that same spirit and determination to creating the closest thing we have to paradise here on Earth. By using the power of collaboration, we can work together to even the playing field for everybody. Our dystopias can become utopias. Our Jahannams can become Jannah. Our hells can become heaven, right here on Earth. And this sentiment applies to atheists, agnostics, and believers alike. Myself, I'm an agnostic who believes. I believe in us. We must do better because we can choose to. We must be better simply because the option exists. Thank you.
How much time do you guys have? Because, I mean, if I were to do an analysis of this, it would take quite a bit. Damn it, Ren. There's so much information. It was like a TED Talk. I've said this before, but this video really, I mean, this wasn't, I expected this to be a song. You know, right from the Sick Boy album kind of thing. But completely different. My God, what do I even say? Like, he literally said everything himself, wrote it down, showed you pictures, videos. Could not be any more straightforward. But then again, there's always that dilemma, and you have your own thoughts. But basically, what I got from this is that he tells the story of Adam and Eve, the creation, Genesis, if you will. And then he's like, okay, we went from this point, boom, being created, I don't know, being created, to now, 2023, where we have free will, we have all this knowledge, all this power, everything is accessible to us, knowledge, resources, etc. And what have we done with that power? Well, it takes a right here, it takes a dark turn. It's trippy. This part was really trippy. I mean, think about the work that went into this. I think this was one of my favorite parts visually. I felt almost in trance, like something the CIA would use to, try to get information from a captive. But yeah, it was just, and with that sound going on in the background, just feeding you the words, but then there's a beat going on. So it was trippy. So then it goes into this dark turn where he says, we're spoiled and we're almost destructing ourselves. It takes on this apocalyptic, chaotic theme where he's showing tanks, poverty, famine, disease, death, all these things, which of course we know exists all over the world since, dawn of time. But yeah, it gets kind of scary. And he's like, okay, we haven't been, as humans, we haven't been the best that we can be to the planet and ourselves. So why not, let's turn this thing around and try to get better. See, I like the ending because after all this war and chaos, here it talks about collaboration, working together, improving, being human in the best possible ways, what we should have done, but we still can. I think this message ends with hope, and he's saying like, okay, no matter what has happened in the past, we can change at any point if we used, he put it in a certain, I forget how he said it. Like, if we put the effort that we have put into making money, put that effort into making the world better, like working for ourselves and improving and abolishing all these things that make the world a worse place to live in. So pretty deep message. Not sure how to even I just have to absorb this, I guess, because I don't know, I felt like this video was 9 minutes long, but it felt like a whole day, like a lecture, in a good way, not in a bad way, like, oh my god, this is so long. No, in the fact that there was so much information thrown at you that now my mind is like, oh my god, like I'm thinking about God, Lucifer, the world, like it happened to me the other day. My god, this video is already long enough, but if you're still here with me, this happened like a couple weeks ago. I started thinking for some reason about kids being abused all over the world, like physically, mentally, all that. And it was obviously sad and tragic, and I just kept thinking about that, like, oh my god, like in this very moment, how many kids, like, and I can't even do anything. They're all over the world. They're not, if they were near, if I saw it, I would help, but since I can't, it's like, oh wow. And that, I almost couldn't let that thought go. That stayed with me for so long. It was haunting. And getting a little bit of that vibe here from this video, but it ends on a positive note, so that's, but it's still, it makes you think about what can we do to make the world a better place. We can all do, I mean, it sounds cliche and cheesy, all that, but really, if we each put our own little piece of effort into it, then we can make a change. It's like recycling. If nobody recycles, then nothing happens. But if each person helps, then it does make a difference. So yeah, I think we can all, no matter what profession you have, where you are in the world, what you do, your age, your status, you can do something to help. And I guess for me, I'm trying to think, even putting out these reaction videos, as little as it may seem to most, I think aside from getting joy out of it, entertainment for myself, hopefully it's entertainment for other people, and it provides some sort of content aside from the actual video that we're watching. I try to give you guys more ideas and a different perspective, my perspective, right? Because everyone has their own, and that's why you see, you can have infinite amount of reaction channels. Everyone can make their own, essentially, and then we piece together people's ideas. So the point here is that I hope you guys take something away from my reaction videos, not just this one, the deeper ones, but also the fun ones, the festive ones, or the crazy ones, or the romantic ones, or whatever it is. Just take something away from what I'm saying. And yeah, I guess building a community is the essence of this channel, because I want it to grow, of course, but in a good way. Not growing just for numbers and stats, but really to create a community where we can interact, where people can be feel comfortable and essentially happy, and comment whatever they want, interact. So that's what I'm trying to do. And yeah, just a lot to think about with this video, as per usual, but even deeper than normal for Ren. Let me know which one I should react to next, and what you thought of this video, your point of view. Although he literally said everything himself, so it's hard to speculate, but we all have our opinions. But anyway, if you enjoyed, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, share, recommend, ring the bell. I have to say all this, guys. Join the channel. At the end, do a flip. Till the next.
Thanks for watching.